It's Brands Hatch, it's the Grand Prix circuit, and it's rounds 5 and 6 of the Ginetta Challenge. The two classes for the G40s and the G20s set to go head-to-head at one of the best tracks in the UK. Pole position to Richard Sykes. He's shown great speed this year, but he's yet to score a win. Is it going to come today? Alongside him on the front row of the grid is a man who's already had one win. That was at Alton Park, the Optimum Motorsport run car in the hands of Mark Davis. And then on the second row of the grid, Clive Richards and Mike Robinson, who switched from the Clio Cup to Ginetta's this year, and he's going very well indeed. But Clive Richards is no stranger to success, and Clive is going to take some stopping around here potentially. Ryan Ratcliffe and Tiffany Dell share the third row of the grid. The first 20-minute race for the Ginetta Challenge is about to get underway on the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Away they go, and a better start is made by Mark Davis from the outside of the front row as the cars accelerate up towards paddock for the first time. On board with Mike Robinson, Tiffany Dell to the right, trying to squeeze through on the inside, and he's done it, diving into the first corner. Another man to watch, having started right at the very back, is Sean Hyton, the championship leader. Never got a lap in qualifying, and he, in the black car, is going to be a man in a big hurry, trying to work his way through all of this traffic as they work their way round Druids for the first time. So downhill they come towards Graham Hill Bend. It is Richard Sykes who's managed to get away just about the best. He leads Mark Davis then, and there's a spin coming down the hill for the first time. That could well be Lee Mole's car that's getting itself sorted out and back into the right direction. Everybody else now sprints along Cooper Straight up towards Surtees. It was Lee Mole that went around, and Richard Sykes then now for HHC leads the Optimum car of Mark Davis. You're on board with Tiffany Dell. These days better known as a broadcaster, but Tiff, a great racing driver in his time, mainly in sports car racing, had a spell in touring cars, did drive briefly in Formula 1 for the Ensign team in 1980, and still very competitive, and he dives up the inside of one of the youngest drivers on the grid, Ryan Ratcliffe, then as they go through Hawthorns for the first time. Up now towards Westfield, and you can see the way that some of the quicker G20s here are mixing it with the G40s. James Owen in the orange G20 number 28 goes through. The gap between the race leaders, such as it was, is reducing all the time now because Mark Davis is getting himself back onto the tail of Richard Sykes now. Through Stirlings they go, one off, and that, I'm afraid, in 62, facing the wrong way is Rick Parfitt. The musician has lost it coming out of Sheen Curve through Dingle Dell. Here's a replay, and he just gets the back of the car ever so slightly out of line. He can't hang on to it, round it comes. And Rick Parfitt, who gets better and better every time out, I'm afraid, has put a bit of ink on his copybook there. It's somewhat blotted now after that spin, but he should be able to rejoin and work his way back up the order. Whether he can break into the top 10 before flag fall, we'll have to wait and see. Leaders go through them. Richard Sykes leading as Mike Robinson hustles up the inside here to bag second place. Takes that away from Mark Davis. Good move, that, turning through paddock. So Robinson, a former Clio racer in the TCR run car, another new team to the Ginetta Challenge. They've run G50s, but now in the G40s as well. That car up in the second spot. Down to third is Mark Davis. And then behind him, you've got Clive Richards then in the blue car. And Clive in the Collard's Motorsport run G40 has got tucked up behind him the Piranha Motorsport car of Ryan Ratcliffe. Good to have so many teams all at the pointy end of the grid in this year's championship. Richard Sykes then leading the way, but Mike Robinson is doing his level best now to get onto terms with the race leader. They go through Surtees now onto the Grand Prix section of the circuit, and Richard Sykes back into Ginetta racing full-time this year leads the way, but Mike Robinson hunting him down. Can he break away from Davis and go after the leader, or is he going to have to defend? It's Davis third, it's Richards fourth, and already back markers having to get out of the way. Mick Morgan, I think it was, being negotiated as they go now up towards Westfield. It's really 5 for the race lead. Ryan Ratcliffe then staying on the back of that leading group as they go through Westfield. In fact, Ratcliffe now looking a bit more towy, yet getting past Clive Richards. Through Westfield they come. Up now through Sheen Curve towards Dingle Dell. Now towards Stirling. Race leader Sykes. The gap has come down once again. He's not getting away, is he, from Mike Robinson? Robinson, who's yet to win in these cars. Sykes, who's yet to win in these cars, now arguing over the race lead. Down towards Clark Curve they come, and I'm afraid we've got drama there. 2 of them off. One of them is John Saunders, number 85, and the other looks like Pat Gormley with the bonnet up on that car. They've made contact. That was up at Westfield. Neither of them are going any further as Mike Robinson goes for the lead, coming over the line. He's on the inside, heading up into paddock. A virtual dead heat as they came over the timing line, but through on the inside goes Mike Robinson then. He takes over the race lead, dives through paddock, sweeps by into the race lead. Can he get away? Runs a little bit wide over the curb, coming out of the corner and up towards Druids. Robinson leads, Sykes second, Davis third, Richards fourth, Ratcliffe fifth. The same 5 effectively as 1, but now look, Mike Robinson released is starting to get away. Richard Sykes is there in second place. Out of Graham Hill Bend they come, along Cooper Straight. Now Mike Robinson is doing his best to pull clear of Richard Sykes, who's busy defending from Mark Davis, but he can't hang on to second place. Davis launches himself up the inside. There's a bit of contact between the two. Richard Sykes gets muscled out to the outside. He's going to come through in second spot then as they drop down towards us. It's Sykes still standing his ground on the inside. Davis on the outside. Richards tucked out behind him, and Ratcliffe looking for a way by, but Richards goes through on the inside. He takes third away from Davis. Yellow flags at Westfield, so no overtaking allowed there. Those yellows because of the two cars of Saunders and Gormley. We saw in the gravel a lap ago that they were in the background. So Mike Robinson it is now who leads the way. Second, you've got Richard Sykes, and there third and fourth, Clive Richards and Mark Davis behind him. In 16 there is Dominic Pettit back into the championship. Not seen him race this year, but he's the man leading the G20 element. He was very quick in both the G20 and in a G40 last year. Dominic Pettit, who might be a bit race rusty, is going well. Well, he's not mixing it with the G40s that really have been much quicker this year, but he's leading the G20 contest. You can see he's absolutely out on his own. So Dominic Pettit on his return looks like he's heading for a class win. Over the line now, side by side, Sykes and Richards. Clive Richards on the outside. Mike Robinson is driving away from them now, but Richard Sykes hangs on to second spot, or does he? He gets a little bit crossed up. They're going through paddock, and now up on the inside line goes Clive Richards for second place, and he's done it, and Mark Davis goes through as well. Sykes gets hung out to dry on the outside, and he can't do anything about the inside on the way to Graham Hill because he's been forced out wide and loses the places. He's got to slot back in them behind the Yorkshireman. Mark Davis tucked in behind him onto Cooper Straight, and he's going to have to be careful here, in fact, that he doesn't get mugged by Ryan Ratcliffe as well. So Richard Sykes did lead, now back to fourth, tries for third on the inside, but Mark Davis is able to repel him there. Mike Robinson is the race leader, but he's coming under pressure because now Clive Richards and Mark Davis are going after him. They lost time while they were stuck behind Richard Sykes. There's another car there heading into retirement by the look of it, and number 30 is Paul Morgan, the Office Furniture Company director, in trouble. Now, how did all that start? Let's have a look. He gets it wrong, doesn't he? Coming out of Sheen Curve through Dingle Dell, goes sideways. He's heading for the barrier. Bang! Oh dear, that was a big impact. Clatters it on the driver's side. He's okay though, and the race leaders are on their last lap now, working their way up towards the checkered flag. It's just Mike Robinson ahead, but Clive Richards is right on his tail. The flag is at the ready, and Mike Robinson wins for the first time in the Ginetta Challenge. Second goes to Richards, and Mark Davis comes across the line behind, and Tiffany Dale is still trying to work his way through traffic as well. Tiff's first outing in a G40, and he has not done a bad job at all as he powers his way now up towards the timing line. And that's going to put Tiffany Dale in seventh spot then as he comes up to the flag. So Tiffany Dale goes through. Meantime, battles rage on right the way through the field, including, as ever, Dominic Pettit. Not with class rivals, though, but with G40s. You can see the next of the G20s, which is Gary Sims, who heads the class in the championship, a little bit behind him. But Dominic Pettit fending off G40s there. You can see 87 right up behind him, Paul Latimer. Dominic's going to win on his return to Ginetta Racing. Comes up towards the flag, and Dominic Pettit celebrates a class win. He's done that in style. Dominic Pettit wins the G20s. Gary Sims second, and Stuart Pearson in third. News breaks, though, of an amended result. Clive Richards is the winner, Mark Davis second, Richard Sykes third, then it's Johnson, Sean Hyton fifth from the back of the grid, and Tiffany Dale up to sixth, and all of that is a 30-second penalty for Mike Robinson.